Hi again, Mark Whitaker with Retirement Advice. And in today's video, what I want to cover is a question that I get a lot from clients as well as people that I've taught retirement classes to over the years. And that is, how much should I give to my adult children when I'm retired? The question often comes up because at that stage of life in retirement, you probably are going to find yourself with more financial assets than you've had at any other time in your life. Maybe your home is paid off, you have your retirement accounts, which are larger than they've ever been, you might have a pension, and along with this period of life where you have more financial assets than perhaps you've had in the past, you're also in a situation with children where they might be at that point where they're making large financial decisions. They want to buy a house, or they're trying to get into college or needing to pay for school, those sorts of things. And so retirees are faced with that question of, okay, how much should I give to my adult children during retirement? And with every financial question, unfortunately, the frustrating answer is, it depends. So in spite of that, I think what I'd like to do is provide a framework to help you understand, to give you some ideas about how to approach this question. So the first thing is, what are your financial priorities? And I'll just go ahead and say it that, in my opinion, I think that the number one financial priority for any retiree is your own financial stability. It's, I would say it would be dangerous to prioritize helping family members or other people financially. By doing so, you would jeopardize your own situation. The second thing for you to think about when giving to your children is ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? So for example, are you hoping that the money that you give to your children, are you hoping that this will help them to save and make wise financial decisions on their own? Are you wanting to teach them some type of lesson with this gift? Another thing to think about is are you wanting them to pay the money back, or is this truly a gift? And so when you think about what you're trying to accomplish with your money, that can then help you narrow down the possibilities of how to give and to do it in the right, or maybe in the best way. Another question to ask yourself is, all else being equal, if you could give during your life or after you pass away, do you have a preference? Or maybe a better way to say it is, do you want to have some hands-on control while you're living to see how it's spent, or frankly to just see somebody enjoy the gift? Or are those things maybe not as important to you? So once you've thought about, these are just some of the questions that you could ask yourself to help you kind of narrow in on how to give to your family member. Now, let's say that you have run your retirement plan, you have projections, and you have found that based off of the income that you need in retirement, the type of lifestyle you'd like to have, and everything that goes along with your financial plan, that you can afford to give $1,000 a month to children to help out, or $12,000 a year. With that gift then, the next step of thinking about making gifts or helping out children is there a particular way that you can do it that will be most beneficial to you from a tax perspective? For example, you could give, if you're giving money to a child, you could take a distribution from a retirement account and in so doing recognize taxable income in order to make that gift. Or you could pull that money from a brokerage account and perhaps pay a lower tax rate through long-term capital gains. Or if you were to sell some positions that had embedded losses, you could even recognize a tax benefit for making that gift. These are just two of the examples. There's many other ways that somebody could give to a family member in a tax advantaged way. The favorite way that I have, that I like to do with clients, is to gift appreciated assets. So what this entails is, instead of giving cash to a family member, you're actually going to give them an asset. Well, you can think about this like, I'm going to give a gift, a car to my child. But from the standpoint that I want to talk about today, it's gifting an appreciated asset. So for example, let's say that you have a brokerage account, and in that brokerage account you have shares of Apple stock, and you have the option of option one, you could sell those shares and give cash to your child. Option two, you could actually gift the shares to your child. So what would this look like? If you were to sell the shares, what would happen is you would have to recognize those capital gains as income, and then your child would receive the cash. Well, like I talked about, since you're in retirement, or let's say you're close to retirement, you might be in a situation where you're in a higher tax rate than your child. And so let's look at option 2. Option 2, instead of selling the shares and giving them to your child, you're actually going to just, let's say your child already has an investment account open. You would transfer those shares from your account to your family member's account, and at that time they would have the option to sell the shares, keep the shares, or do with them as whatever makes sense. In a situation where the person that you're making the gift to is in a lower tax rate than you are, then this is one way that you can effectively make a gift from one generation to another, to a family member, more cost-effective way. A method that I've seen that's been very effective when it comes to gifting appreciated assets is doing it while somebody is in school, for example. So let's say your daughter's in graduate school and she doesn't have very much income. Maybe she has very minimal income, right? So if you were to gift those shares to her and she were to sell them, it's possible that because of the preferential long-term capital gain rates, it's possible that her tax rate would actually be 0. So think about that. You invested in these stocks and they've grown for years and years and years, and instead of having to pay taxes on those, you could gift those shares to your daughter and she could sell them, and it would be a tax-free transaction in this scenario where her tax rate is low because she's in school, for example. So these are some ideas to think about. Obviously, before you do any of these strategies, it's important to actually run the numbers in your own situation. And for this video, I have framed this whole discussion in terms of federal income taxes. Now, depending on the state where you live, you have to also overlay any planning strategy with your own state's tax code. So I hope this has been helpful. And if you find this information helpful, please like and subscribe. And for more information, you can go to earlyretirementadvice.com. I'll see you soon.